Hey folks. Wow. Normally I'm up here begging. I'm threatening using Italian words. Hi everybody. 10th annual. Let's go through this before, I was going to say before I tell you who I am, but my name is Michael Landsberg, and I am, if nothing else, the annual host of this great gala. This is the 10th year, folks. Now is that applause for the great gala or for me? So let's see again. I'm just going to say great gala. Now I'm going to say Michael Landsberg. Yeah, that was pretty cheap, I admit it. So, I mean, let's get a sampling of what you guys are all about. Who's here for the first time? First time for Brandan's Eye Research Fund. Who's here for the second time? Who's here for the third time? Who's here for the fourth time? Hey, Sheldon, you were lying. You clapped. This is not your third time. He's lying. Who's here for the fifth time? Who's here for the sixth time? Who's here for the seventh time? Who's here for the 8th time? 9th time? And the 10th time. So, as you can see, there's some veterans here. I was just trying to figure out what kind of material I could repeat. So I think I'm pretty safe in going back to 5 years, because I killed it 5 years ago, so I'm dragging that stuff out. As I said, my name is Michael Landsberg, and I'm here to be your MC for tonight. I'm also here for a very, very personal reason. See, I figured if I said personal reason, people would be quiet. And you know what? Those of you who are going to be quiet now, I'm going to make it worth your while. Because this isn't one of those fake, I'm hosting an event for a certain charity and I pretend like the charity is near and dear to me. This is not what this is about for me. First of all, I'm looking at myself in the monitor or the TV screen up there and I'm thinking, wow, for tonight it's not my big Jewish nose, it's my big Italian nose. I'm going to play that card right now. And by the way, I'll come back to that. Why am I here tonight? Anybody here? First of all, anybody here know who I am? This is very important because we were having a discussion. Clap if you, hold on. Clap if you don't know who I am. And be honest. I got no problem with that. Clap if you don't know who I am. Come on, be honest. Okay, see, I had to push you on it, but you did it.
Dutchie.
Sorry? Dutchie. Oh, you think randomly calling out the name of some guy I work with is going to give you some sort of status here? So, here's what I'm here to say. That I spend a lot of my time speaking, obviously. I work on television, I host a show on TSN called Off the Record. So I am a professional talker. I also travel around talking about my own struggles with mental illness. I suffer from depression. I have had many bouts with this, and the fact that I can talk about it on platforms gives me the opportunity to change how people see it. So I do a lot of that. But how about this for really putting tonight into perspective for me, is that it's far easier for me to get in front of a group of you and say, I suffer from a mental illness, than it is for me to get in front of a group of you to say that I have a wonderful daughter who has struggled most of her life with an eye disease. This is, for me, the most challenging thing that I will do professionally, speaking in front of you. This is the night that I dread. Not because you're not all wonderful, and not because the Cescalinis aren't wonderful, or the DiCerbos aren't wonderful, and everybody to do with this. But this makes me think about our struggles in the past, and the present, and worst of all, thinking about the future, and I find it really difficult. So, I'm here to give you some perspective. I think I'm here for a 10th year because nobody in the television business has had a daughter with eye problems, otherwise they would have replaced me. So I'm waiting for that to happen, but until then, I'm here to say that Sick Kids, when my daughter Casey was 4 years old, was the only place on the planet that mattered to us. My wife and I walked in with our daughter, 4 years old, between us, holding her hand, and not knowing what her future held, and not knowing what was going to happen. And I remember thinking early on in our time at Sick Kids how vulnerable we were, and how we were just, I knew nothing about the disease that she suffered from. And then when I got to know it, there was a point where I thought to myself, oh my God, somebody before us has done the research. Someone before us has made a difference in this illness. And people have raised money at events like this to further eye research in all sorts of fields. And I remember being at Sick Kids, and I remember when my daughter was in surgery, sitting with my wife and wondering what was going to happen. And I thought, wow, what a debt to the whole world I will owe, but in particular to Sick Kids, if she could grow up and be able to see. Well, my daughter is 26 years old, and she drives a car. So I have a huge debt of gratitude. I have a debt that I owe to Sick Kids that I could never pay back, ever. The single greatest thing in my life is her left eye. And the single worst thing in my life is her right eye. But fortunately, as someone told me, I think it was Dr. Donnie Morin, who passed away many years ago, but who we owe everything to, told me, your vision is as good as your good eye. So most days I get to live thinking about the greatest thing in my life, which is her good eye. So I'm here for that reason. I'm here because Brandan's eye research has made a difference. It started out 10 years ago, making a tiny little bit of a difference, and since then it has grown and grown and grown into something that I'm just proud to be standing up here looking at all of you. So I thank you all for coming tonight. And you know, like I said, a lot of times people host events and you think, wow, you know, do they really feel it? Do they really feel the illness they're talking about when they go, come on, folks, you got to donate money? Is it really personal for them? Well, this is personal for me. And I say, for me and my family, thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you all for making a difference. So you should now give a round of applause, not for the event, not for me for sure, but for yourselves. Thank you for doing this. I just realized that how many parents here have children who have found their way through the ophthalmology department or continue to be at Sick Kids Hospital? I just want to, I see Sheldon. So there's a fair number of you. So I don't know if you understand what I'm going to say, but I'm talking to you guys. After a while, you start to fear the eye doctor's office. And for me, my fear has grown way beyond just the concept of being in an eye doctor's office, but it's grown to, if I see an eye chart, literally, I panic. Like I see an eye chart, I go to my GP and I see an eye chart, and I become fixated on it. I have this love-hate relationship with it. So I thought, you know what? I got to make a statement to myself that I can handle tonight. So I'm wearing these socks, and I'm going to show you my socks, and I guarantee that's the only piece of clothing I will show you. These are eye chart socks. So for me, it's a hell of a statement. I've learned a lot in my time here, folks, at the Brandan's Eye Research Gala. I've learned that it's not prosciutto, it's prosciutto. I've learned it's not sescalini, it's cescalini. And I've learned that some of the most warm and wonderful people are people that I've seen here, and in particular, the Italian community has come out en masse to celebrate this great evening, and I appreciate being made to feel really warm when I come in the room.